Two. Hey, we here live. All right. Yeah, let's see. Let's get it right. We're still trying to get everything right. There we are. You can turn it just a little bit around this one.
This one here?
Yes. There. Perfect. There. And the volume from the
All the way down.
Yes. Thank you everyone for having us. Look who's here, Betty, the former NAACP president and community leader, advocate. I mean, you've been out and about helping community, nonprofit, businesses. I mean, what is it you haven't done? You've been doing everything under the sun. So you are an amazing person inside and out.
Thank
I've
you.
always see you go out there and fight for the community, for underserved, underrepresented community.
So happy.
Yeah,
So
but you do it 10 times. Me, I'm always hustling businesses, networking and all that, but you do the work though. So, but right now we have you. Thank you for having, being here. So good to have you. So just tell us a little bit about you. I know you have a lot of wisdom and knowledge. So we just need to know a little bit what to do. And, for people who don't know you, but most Sacramento, if they don't know you, though, they don't know Sacramento. So,
Well, like you said, I'm past president for the Greater Sacramento NAACP for the past 20 years.
Yes.
I have owned and still own my own business. It's called One Solution Outreach and Recruitment. And me and a number of colleagues from nationwide started a civil rights group called the National African American Civil Rights Organization,
yes.
NAACR. So I'm still in working with civil rights and advocating, but on a national level.
Yes.
And so all politics start local, right? So we're going to continue to work things locally, which is what my business is about. I do staffing and placement. And the biggest piece of that is the outreach and making sure
Yes.
small Black businesses, small minority businesses are aware of some of the opportunities that are out there. And so the outreach that I do statewide is educating those individuals of all the major opportunities that are out there, whether it's a grant or private businesses who have proposals that we never even know about.
Yes. That's why I want to come to really the whole point of this conversation is when it comes to small businesses and nonprofit and policies and government. So how do we, the whole point, we're there all the time fighting and, bring some back to our community.
Right.
So, but for me as a small business owner, Queen Shiva, if you don't know Queen Shiva, you're not from Sacramento either. I tell people, if you don't know Queen Shiva, then maybe you're new, you haven't been here a long time.
Right.
But so Queen Shiva on Broadway. So I've been doing business over nearly 20 years, a small business owner, like,
Wow.
mama, papa shop a long time.
Wow.
So I've been through the recession, whatever,
COVID.
COVID, fire, now inflation
Right.
to the highest. People don't know it's even worse than COVID.
It is.
So that's what I wanted to talk about when it comes to small businesses. I feel like at least when the COVID time, we had a little bit help there.
Right. Right.
That's why we were able to, some of us survive, a lot of people didn't survive, which are heartbreaking because, for me, it's all about small businesses. I really do feel for small businesses because it's hard to survive as it is. So, and then now we passed COVID, and then now we are in the worst economy, recession. So we're not in recession yet, but we're gonna go to recession after inflation.
No, I'm not claiming that.
I'm not doing
claiming
that either. But from the history, we have to know the past.
Right.
From inflation comes recession. So that's the follow-up all the time. So, but like you said, God help us. So, but right now we are in that high inflation right now. So that's why a lot of people are hurting and small business are hurting. So how do we bridge the gap? I know policy is supposed to bridge the gap between the government and the small businesses like me and other small businesses right now shutting down every day.
Right.
They don't tell you, but it is. So how do we save those small businesses instead of actually right now they come in the government, in the state, in the city, everybody's on the small businesses neck. How do we save, instead of helping from taxpayers' money, just a specific for help small businesses? We don't have one.
So I know you received certification through the program that I had, right? And so there's follow up with that. And so there's a handoff that should happen. So after that certification has happened, um, people need to understand what the policies are.
Yes.
So we got things started because of AB 2019. That's a policy. AB 2019 stated, well, the governor signed last January that any
What is it called? MPC?
AB 2019.
2019. So what is that policy?
And so that policy says that all prime contractors with the state of California have to give subcontractors 25% of their business, and it's not mandatory. It's not a soft ask. The governor, he went a lot further actually. He said not only will you be giving 25% of your businesses to small minority-owned business, but I want to see proof that you did your due diligence, that you actually, I want it in black and white. You show me that you did it.
Yes.
And if you can't show me, I don't care if you've been a business with California for a decade,
Yes.
you will no longer have a contract.
Yes.
Which is a game changer for minority-owned businesses because a lot of times, especially in the Good Old Boys Network,
yes.
they keep using their same friends over and over, so minorities never get that opportunity.
Yes.
So this mandatory 25% allows small businesses to get contracts, but the key is they have to be certified. That's one. The other piece is SB 103. Again, we're dealing with policy.
SB?
Sam Baby, or SB 103.
Okay.
SB 103 is some of those folks who may have been certified and their new and emerging businesses may have been certified and went for contracts.
Yes.
And have never received a single contract from Caltrans
Yes.
or the state. And so that policy was written again because people were saying, and you have to have the right people at the table. I was one of many that's part of this group called AACEC that said, we are getting people certified and they're coming back and saying they don't have a contract.
Yes.
So this piece was to ensure
yes.
that they get or they become part of the core group that are starting to get contracts. And so they are literally looking at the numbers right now.
Yes.
To see if this is working and to see if these these primary businesses, which are predominantly white, are giving 25% to minorities. So when you say policy, I don't think a lot of us who are doing the day-to-day,
yes.
they don't know AB 2019 or SB 103, but it's part of my outreach is for me to understand it and to know it and to be at podcasts like this
yes.
one so that I can share that information.
Yes. Okay, Barney, do you mind pressing when the thing comes to say allow? Just press allow. Yeah. So I have a question on that.
Okay.
Because that's where they get us. So, I'm all about statistics and numbers. So right now, 65% of the businesses are owned by white or other Asia, blah, blah. So we only less than 3% of us in business. So when you say contract, most of this contract is going for big companies. Well, that's what I'm saying, like the taxpayers' money is really a welfare for those big companies in the name of contracts. And nothing is coming to the small businesses. Yeah, they say, the 20% has to go. 25%. But we got to see what is the statistics. We need to see numbers. Unless I see numbers, how much of these companies, which is most of them are wealthy companies, taking all that big contract. When I say contract money, they get like 3-4 times more than money that what they normally get if they are government contractors.
Well, the numbers are worse than that. I know what you quoted, but let me tell you this. We are the 5th largest economy in the world, not in the nation, in the world.
Yes.
So when it comes to contracting with minority Black businesses specifically is what I'm talking about.
Yes.
We in the state of California are less than 1%. So the numbers that you have the numbers that I have is worse than what you are saying.
Yes.
So, which is one of the reasons why we have the AB 2019. So, one of the things that I'm doing right now, I'm reaching out to businesses, and I'm in the middle of it now. I'm hoping to get 10 to 15 businesses every month
Yes.
to follow up with them to get their certifications and make sure everything is in place.
Yes.
And then I am going to have a Zoom learning piece to put them in front of Caltrans.
Yes.
And so that Caltrans can take them through the process of putting them in front of the primes
Yeah.
to make sure that they get the opportunities to get the contract. And I have pledged to do this for the next 12 months from this August to next August.
Yeah.
So anyone in the sound of my voice and the sound of this podcast,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to call my office and you are a small minority owned business, a woman owned business, a veteran owned
Like
business,
Yes.
then I'm going to give you my office number, which is 916
Mm-hmm.
689 1978. And I'll repeat that 916 689 1978. And I'm going to say my office number because it's a landline, so don't try texting me.
Yes.
A human being will answer that
Yes.
phone.
Yes.
And so we will get your information and put it down so that we can feed it to Caltrans because
Yes.
they're asking me to do that every month. So they're using individuals like me because I know smart business owners like yourself
I'm trying. I'm still deficient, but I'm trying.
to get this word out.
Yes, yes, yeah, please, because you can reach out to me too. I'll reach out to Betty, and we have to create that. I think what I feel like a lot of the time we're missing a lot of good opportunity out there is because we don't hear, we don't know where it's at, we don't know where the door is, we don't know where the information is. So, coming in here and talking about what is going on in our community, not just in our community, in our government,
Right.
in
Right.
our state, in our city, in our county. That's where the budget is. That's why we need to ask how much percentage of is coming into our Black community.
And so the governor is watching this particular program that I'm part of very carefully, and everyone that's part of this program is aware of it. So he's watching to see, I'm one of 5 contractors. So he's watching to see the 5 of us bring these small businesses to Caltrans and how many of them actually got contracts because he expects all of them.
Yeah.
If
To
I'm
have.
averaging myself to get at
Yeah.
least 10 small businesses a month for 12 months, that means I'm saying I want 120 businesses.
Yeah, I want to sign up.
Okay.
I want to sign up tomorrow. So my Black businesses, small businesses, minority businesses, sign up.
Yeah.
Because this is why it's important. Because for me, small businesses, especially when we say small businesses, not like those McDonald's, they're franchise. I'm
Right.
talking about businesses like us. Every day we hire in community. We support in community.
Right.
We're investing in our community. We want the government to invest in us instead of, just give us your taxes, just hassle us every day, all day.
Yes. All over the place, whether it's workman's comp, liability, employee.
Everything, how much we pay.
Oh my God,
I
it's
mean,
crazy.
it's just, especially here in California,
Mhm.
honestly, the amount of tax we pay, we might as well be 50-50 with the government. In fact, even more, because by the time you're done paying all this, and small businesses, that's why I say we need equity for small businesses. We don't want to be relying on the big companies to give us that 20%. Come on.
I'm going to keep correcting you 25%, but still.
I know, whatever 20% or 25%, why can't the government as equity? That's what I'm ready to fight for. If you're small businesses, please, because we got to fight for small business equity, especially when I say small business, people who has, 20 or even 100 and less employee, or even 50, whatever they call really small business. We need a separate equity money where we need, at least we have a support. But for the bigger companies, bigger corporates,
Mhm.
they have the government tax money, right? They're sitting for them under government contracts and grants and other things. They get all the money, but it doesn't come back to us, to small businesses. I'm glad the governor is doing this, but he's still putting us in the hands of the big companies to help us. And instead of getting direct help from the $300 billion taxpayers' money, budget sitting there.
So I don't mind for me to take accountability what we haven't been doing.
Yeah.
And so a lot of our businesses don't have the paperwork together in order to be a prime contractor
That's what
like
I'm
the
saying.
businesses.
Yeah.
Even with me being a prime contractor on this business, part of me getting the contract said I needed a veteran.
Yeah.
And so I was actually looking for a black veteran. And I pulled from the list, the certified list was about 100 people statewide. And every single one that I reached didn't have their paperwork together.
That's what I'm saying.
And I had a deadline. So I
Yeah.
did choose someone who was not black. And he's excellent.
But the
He's
thing is,
excellent.
yeah, but that's not fair. Again, that's not fair. That's what we need to separate for. Especially they say, oh, we can't say black, because we're not ready as black people to have our paperwork. But they're still putting us under the hand of, the big companies. That's why we need to specifically separate grants and funds and equities and reparation for black communities separately.
So I'm gonna push back on you a little bit, because I think starting by being a subcontractor, you learn how to do the paperwork. By the time you finish, and those contracts are not small contracts. They are 6 and 7 figure contracts, even as a sub. You learn how to do that paperwork.
Yeah.
It's part of your learning. So I don't take for granted by being a subcontractor is a bad thing versus jumping into being a prime and not being ready and lose the whole thing.
Yeah, but I'm going beyond that. Yeah, there are some people who needs a little bit to get to that contract.
Mm-hmm.
What about those people, like especially in our community, like we were saying, we only 33% of us is the whole in the California state. So because we are only small percentage of us in business, when they say 20%, they get at the end of the day, every other community is going to benefit, but not black community. Because in our black community, we don't even have enough business. We need a separate money to build our business first, and then we'll be ready to get the contract. But that's why I'm saying that's a good thing for the people who are already here.
Then understand
what
your
about the
policy.
people who
Understand
still
your
here?
policy. Understand your policy. Do you understand what 209 is?
Yeah.
And so when
But it's not.
but you have to be strategic. I'm not saying let's park 209 here, because that's what they use against us when we say we need black pool of money over here.
Yeah.
But a lot of times they use
For
the
black
words,
community, I'm talking about for our black community
Right, you
compared
are.
to
in the
when
state of California, you can't say black
because
community.
they deliberately did that so they can take off advantage of black community again and again, because it's
And
not
we
going to
had
come
a
to us.
policy
Why
to
would they put a
repeal.
policy like that?
We repealed.
We're going to have to do
We
that.
repealed. We asked in one of the last elections to repeal Prop 209.
I know, but
And
people didn't know. People didn't know.
That's my problem. That's
No, because they need to give us the money to market to our people. So there is no fund in our community to market to our people.
what
so
makes
they
you
can
think
know.
they didn't give
So
money
we can,
to our people
yeah,
to
that's
market?
what I'm saying.
My thing is they didn't give it to the right people.
To us.
They didn't give it to the right people.
That's what I'm saying. Whatever it
And
is.
so you were saying they should give the money to the people. You go to the table and they said, we gave it to this group over here. And we never heard about it. We didn't educate
That's what I'm
about
saying.
it.
They do
So
it
they don't-
deliberately. That's what I'm saying to you.
But it's up to us to be the
That's
voice.
what we're doing right now.
That's what we're doing right now.
That's what I'm doing right now, because at the end of the day, they put inclusive. By the time we get to the black community, we're getting zero from the taxpayers' money. So that's why specifically we need our reparation, our equity, and our grant money separate from this called, like you're talking about right now, the
209, Prop 209.
no, the Caltrans.
Oh, the Caltrans grant.
The government contract.
And
How many percent of black people get government contracts? So
I just told you.
Yeah, how many percent?
Less than one
That's
in the
what I'm
state of
saying.
California.
Then it
I
doesn't work
just
that
told
way.
you.
That's why would they put us inclusive then? In that way, other community
Because we
keep on
did
taking
not
advantage
repeal
of our
209.
community.
We didn't repeal
We
209.
have to now. We have to. We're gonna have to.
So somebody needs to put it back on the ballot for the third time.
Yeah.
And so, but we need to be that voice. We need to be, and I had told Tavante this the other night, we need a room, and then we say BYOB, bring your own ballot, so you know what the hell you're voting for. Because they make a yes look like a no, and a no looks like a yes. And so we need to educate our community like other communities do. They in a big hall or whatever, and then they bring their ballot and they tell them what it is and how it benefits or how it doesn't benefit them.
We have reparation policy right now. We need that passed as soon as possible because it has specifically for healthcare, specifically for education. It has specifically for businesses and entrepreneurs, for criminal justice and social justice, but they're still sitting on it. But when it comes to Black policy, nobody wants to pass it. Look at it, the George Floyd Police Act. It has not passed. So what policy are they passing at the government in the state level to support our Black community? If not, then we need our separate money for our Black community. But they deliberately went and created a policy so we can't say for our Black community. So we have to reverse that, obviously. But we gotta educate our community first, even to reverse that.
So take accountability into mind. And so I would ask you to host a BYOB, because I truly don't believe, and in some cases they get our own Black people to lobby. They pay them great money against
That's what
us.
happened that crop, how we can't say Black.
Right.
They use the Black people to create a policy against that. We let it be.
Right.
But where are the people who know? I just figured it out all that recently. But where are the people, our Black leaders who know all this, but they still not doing something about it? We have Urban League, we have NAACP, we have so many Black organizations, Black Chamber of Commerce, California Black Chamber of Commerce. They know all this. So why aren't they the Black Caucus? I mean, who are fighting for Black people policy?
That's an excellent question, because all of those organizations that you just named should be. And I've been part of the NAACP for a long time, and that's part of a lot of what I did, because I didn't see the information going out there. A lot of the information, I'm sitting at tables and I'm trying to figure out, just like the other night when we're talking about mental health and this special number that's not just a local number, it's a nationwide number that you call instead of 911, 988. And so
988. Yes. Just talking, nobody even knew, but they spent 15 million
but
for
she's
988
to you, and I
didn't even know.
There's people on that board that look like me and you. And we're one of the most connected people in Sacramento. How come we didn't know
That's
that?
what I'm saying. And they
the wrong people are sitting on those boards.
15 million on that policy to help Black people from mental health, getting in prison and all that. But we didn't even know. Even the community leaders don't know. So that's what I'm saying. That 15 million they fight for policy. By the time it gets to our Black community, it doesn't. That's why we need that bridge. We need to come together to create a policy that supports our Black community, and we can't do that because they created a policy to say, "Oh, you can't say Black." I mean, this is a wicked 2.0 to me.
It is,
and then we let it be.
Because we're not educated.
No, but our leaders are educated, though. Our leaders are educated.
But we're here.
Why aren't they not making noise? We have Black caucuses. We have all these nonprofits and advocates out there for Black people. So how they don't know, how they're not fighting for policy to come back to money to fund to come back to our community.
They don't understand who we are. Just because we speak English, they think we don't speak a different language. We do speak a different language. And they don't understand how to reach us, because back in the day, we had neighborhoods. This was a Black neighborhood. We grew up together, but now we're all over. That's one. Two, the churches are there, but not everybody goes to church, but it needs to be part of the communication. I think we need to do more in our groundwork with people that are out of the box, maybe restaurant owners or barbershops and salons, and not so rely on some of the other organizations, because those are the places that our people actually go to and listen. And so I think relying on and making sure that the right people are at the table to deliver that message, and pay them like you pay everybody else. You pay outreach money to the white firms, and then those white firms subcontract with people like me.
Yeah.
I want the prime money. Give me, if you want me to reach my black community, you make me the prime for my black community.
Yeah.
Don't send a white firm to me
Yeah.
to speak to my black community. So to your point, we need to do better. When you say, how do the average mom that has kids, that's in different activities and goes to work every day,
Yes.
how is she or he going to hear about this
Yeah.
information?
Yes.
Just every day,
Yeah.
they're just doing their everyday thing.
Yeah.
How do they hear about it?
Yeah, so what they're doing is, so they say they file for policy, they get the money. By the time they pay themselves administration pay, they don't have nothing for marketing. They don't have nothing to give it to the community. They say they serve. So we have to have a watchdog for those policies, how they really spend the money. The same thing I say about NGO. You know how many NGOs in Africa, and I go to Ethiopia all the time. The people they say they're helping, they still the same place. So they're just making money off us, creating middle class, upper class job, fighting the policy, but it's not coming to the people, the underserved, under the represented community. They say they're serving. So if we just fight for black people, but everybody, they say, we fight for equity, and then they create 80% of it would be hired by different community. And then now they're disconnected. They don't have the culture. It's like, in the hurdle that we go through to get there, all they're getting is middle class, upper class job opportunity. And instead of, in fact, hiring our own community to get that job, they deliberately hire their own community because that is advantage right there. That's why it's important we fight for nonprofit, for small businesses, and entrepreneurship for our community specifically, because we are the one who creates job opportunity for our community.
That's probably why part of the reason I started staffing. My background came from the staffing company, and I watched how these very polished soccer moms would see our people come in the door, and I call them field jobs, the customer service jobs, the administrative jobs, not the management jobs. Although we've seen people who were qualified, I've watched the people who were qualified really should have had the upper jobs. And so I notice if I hire those individuals in the right key places, they tend to hire people that look like them. That's one. Two, we've been talking about policy and government, but I also want to move to private sector as well, because one of the contracts I've had is Medi-Cal expansion. And so when you hear Medi-Cal expansion, all you hear, most people hear, is the healthcare connection, but they don't understand the type of businesses or contracts that's associated with it.
Yes.
So the governor has put money into Medi-Cal expansion for the state of California, with at least five, could be more, but five providers like HealthNet and Kaiser and Blue Cross and Blue Anthem and some others, Molina. And so those, when you peel back and read the information, they are actually contracting, and you read the language and it says medically modified meals. So when you look at it, it's like, what does that mean? But that's something that you can do and have done for the city of Sacramento. And you don't know that the Medi-Cal expansion has contracts that's coming directly from the providers that's in your backyard. It also says they needed people who could help with contracting as far as building ramps or helping people do fixtures in their kitchen or their bathroom. So those individuals can be hired. They're also looking for landscapers and haulers and people who are has the education when it comes to finances to help them. And so I did a 14-day tour up and down the state of California, one of which was in Sacramento, and I didn't see you in that room, by the way, but I had put out this blast with all these black restaurants, because when I read that one piece, I said, God, this is an opportunity for the black restaurants to get a contract with Kaiser, Blue Anthem, Molina, all of these places in the Sacramento region. And mind you, the room was packed. Most of the people that I invited had showed up, but not one of the black restaurants showed up. Not one.
Qualified?
All of them, only called the qualified ones.
but no black restaurant showed up
Not one.
because we didn't know. I didn't know. Nobody called me and said, "Look, this
Okay,
going
sometimes
on.
I don't have
Come and
the
show
time to
up."
talk.
That's
Sometimes I
what
don't
they
have
have to do.
some.
Like,
Well,
I mean, how many of us black restaurants
okay,
are in
so I'm a small
Sacramento?
business just like you, and I don't
No,
have
I'm
a
saying a
full.
black restaurant. When you say black restaurant,
I said
we're
black
not
restaurant.
even like 10 of us or 15 of us. So that's what I'm saying when we say marketing. When I say marketing, like look at the Asians. They will reach out to you to your door if they have to get to take advantage of what their community have. That's what we have to operate. If I hear something, they say there is a grant, I have to call my business people, like when we did for the Great Plague program, which they took it away from me after they gave it to me. That's what they do, so they can give it to their own community. That's what they do to us too. They're like, "Oh, here you go, come
And you didn't come to
get."
me about that. If you had come
I
to me,
did.
I know one other
I was
restaurant
making
came to
us.
me. One restaurant came to me, and I made the city do right by her, and they ended up writing her a check. And then I heard about you, but I I said, well, she hadn't come. I don't know what's going on. I didn't know even if it was true.
Yeah.
And so I just like you, I need a call. Just like you said, you need a call.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're so busy doing the work,
Yes.
we don't have time to
Yeah.
make that one
Yeah.
extra phone call.
Yeah.
And it's no one's fault. We are doing the
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
We just need a bigger piece of the pie
Yeah.
to hire people to
We-
make those phone calls.
We're still doing multiple, triple, the quadruple tasks every day. So when they did that to me, I was actually went direct to the city manager, his assistants, and all that. You could not believe the letter they wrote me. It's like, are you kidding me? You write me a letter about my restaurant that everybody eats like that, and and the governor came into my restaurant and used my restaurant to say, look, we're helping black restaurant. That's what I'm saying. It's got to stop. Don't use the black businesses. Don't use the black nonprofit. So you can benefit only your own community. The way I see it as a business person, how I measure it, where we are as a business people when it comes to black people, black community, and every other community. We're right here. So how do we? It's not about just individual, me, you, this person, and that person. We have to see it as a whole. It's where is the white community when it comes to wealth? Where is the black community when it comes to wealth? When even immigrants have better wealth than our black community because of the policy, how they write it to keep on benefiting themselves. By the time it get to us, nothing gets. It's not a stop. That's all I'm saying.
Oh no,
And they
agree
know
with
it
you.
too. They know.
You know,
It's
I
not
only
that
got
they
like
don't know.
2 more minutes, and you're gonna have to invite me back.
Yes.
Because I'm really loving this conversation
I know.
with you.
Look at this one. Look at this. I want to talk to you about this. Look at this. So this is just $94.2 billion just from sales tax. Not for general taxes, around $488 billion a year is the general tax. That's the budget that the governor gets. This is just for sales tax. But look at local, $43 billion. Where is other? Look, $13 billion other. If it comes even like 1% of that in our community, we'll be doing good. But we don't know what this local, okay, education, I can understand all these things. This is only on sales tax.
So it
13
comes from the
billion
government,
others,
it
where
goes
is
to
it?
the state sends it to the county. We show up every day and all day on Tuesday nights at the city. The real money
Yes.
comes at the county level.
Yeah. To see it too.
And so when they are creating the budgets,
Yes.
and it's on their website, but we don't have time to look at their website.
That's
I
what I'm
hate it
saying.
when they say, oh, Betty, it's on our website. But we need to be at the table when they are negotiating their budget.
Yes.
Because that money that you see there,
Yeah.
they allocated, we have 58 counties in the state of California. They allocated to the 58 counties.
Yeah.
Those counties then feed it off to the local cities that's in their counties.
Yeah.
So we need to start, if it's going to be local, we need to be at the county level. But the county has beat us by having meetings in the middle of the day
Yeah.
where
They
we see,
deliberately do that.
and the city of Sacramento does it after 5, and so more
No,
of
the
us
city,
show
when
up.
they do
We
the
should-
budget, they sneak out so we can go there and
Right.
see what they're spending the budget.
Right.
If our Black community and businesses and nonprofit, we should show up at the city level, at the county level, at the state level to see where the budget is and see how many percentage of it really coming into our Black community.
And how many of us know when the budget is rolled out?
That's what I'm saying. They
We don't even
tell
know
us.
that. And so there's been times that I
It's all
have put
by
information out,
Yeah.
and I'm the only Black person at the county of Sacramento when the budget is out, and they know it's me, and they're like, okay, here we
It's
go.
$8.6 billion, so Black people, especially businesses, should show up
And we should be
for
showing
our
up.
youth.
Those of us who can show up during the day, those retirees or those students, because I get it.
Yeah.
Many folks have to work every day. I
Yeah.
get it.
I have to work too, but I still have to be there.
Yeah, but
We gotta sacrifice.
some of the parents can't.
Yeah,
they need
that's what I'm saying. But they can contribute
but-
in different ways.
right.
Everybody
Right.
can contribute in different ways.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right. So that's why
But they
my
gotta get
outreach-
involved. Don't just sit there and complain. Get involved.
And
See
call
what
me. And
yeah.
if, you know,
No, I'll be hustling. You trust me. Like
I will
call
tell
Betty,
you to
call
show up
Betty.
when we're going to do the outreach, because you saw how many people we had at the
Yeah.
conservative. I almost filled that room, but they called me, and I called the community and say, you need to show up here.
yes.
And that's what happened.
Yeah, we gotta show up.
We gotta
That's
show
true.
up.
We gotta show up and see what the mandates are, how they're distributing the budget, who they helping, and all that.
I got to go.
Alright.
I
Yeah,
am
yeah.
so
Thank you.
Producer's
sorry.
exit.
This was amazing. Even just to have you, we're gonna have this conversation get going. This is one. We're gonna have episode 2.
Yes.
So because this is important, because I'm all about that policy. Because like earlier I was saying, we have the government, the big companies and businesses here. We're right here. We need a policy that bridge those gaps and have those politicians and officials to serve the community they say they serve.
Yes.
And it's
And with
time.
that, I
Yes.
gotta go. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
All right.
Keep up the good work. And I'm going to call you and follow up on all the stuff that we talked about.
Thank you so much.
But make sure you follow up on AB 2119,
2019.
2019, and SB 103.
Correct.